Hey, this is Dr. Bjarnason here at Thomasville Chiropractic. I'm just showing up to work today and I was thinking about some of the questions that people ask me routinely. And I wanted to make a short video here and talk about the 3 really important factors when it comes to sleeping. When I have conversations with my patients, we'll talk about, hey, what's healthy? What's a healthy way to sleep? How should I sleep? One of the conversations I start out and have with my patients is that I might be the wrong person to ask specifically about me. Because, man, I toss and turn at night. And I think for a lot of us, we spend a lot of different positions. We spend time in a lot of different positions, laying different ways. If you have any reason, if we've just got over cold and flu season. And so what's happened with a lot of people is people weren't sleeping in their own beds. Maybe they sleep on the couch. Maybe they sleep on the floor. Maybe they sleep in another bed. But they find themselves in uncomfortable positions for long periods of time. With all that being said, what we want to try to do is we want to try to optimize sleep to the best of our ability. And today I wanted to talk about 3 positions that we can sleep in that can help. First, I wanted to talk about our neck, and then we'll talk about the back, and then we'll talk about the knees. When it comes to the neck, what we're shooting for is we're shooting for a neutral position. Now, we can get neutral a couple different ways. We can get neutral lying on our back, and we can get neutral lying on our side. And let's just talk about those. When we talk about the neck when we're lying on our back, if you're a back sleeper, one of the things that I'll explain to my patients is that you need to be seated here where we can get kind of into a neutral position here. What we're trying to avoid is we're trying to avoid this position here where the neck is tilted down and the head is tilted up and forward. That puts a tremendous amount of strain long term. Now, these are all general recommendations, but generally what I like to tell my patients is we want to be in a neutral position. So if you're a back sleeper, you want to be neutral, okay, in this regard right here. Now, one of the other things that I'll tell my patients is that in an ideal world, we can actually create some kind of normal curve in that neck when we sleep. Now, that's tricky. Again, this goes back to me. And I don't sleep really good, but when we do sleep, I don't sleep really good in the same position. But if we could start, I'll say tuck your pillow, wrap it up around the base of your skull right here and get to a neutral position and try that position at least to start your sleep. The other thing that I'll talk to my patients about is we want to be, if you're a side sleeper, you would want to be on your side in a neutral position, right? So here is a way that I would demonstrate is that something to this effect right here. Okay, so when we're right here, we're in a neutral position, we're relaxed, we're comfortable, and our head isn't sagging down, but it's in an ideal world straight across. Like I said, neutral in that regard right there. What do we want to avoid there? In that regard, we want to avoid anything where we're cocked higher like this, right? So this isn't manifesting, but we don't want to be to the spot where you've got 3 or 4 pillows pushing your neck way up in the air. That's going to put a lot of strain on that neck. So if you can get to a neutral position, and neutrals, this is probably a little higher than I usually sleep. And so for me, it's down. It's going to be down a little bit. And one of the things that I'll tell my patients is you might get what's called a side sleeper pillow. Then instead of kind of coming to a point like this, there's a little wall that forms. And I find that that's good for me. Okay, so on your side and on your back. One of the other things that I find is sometimes I do this as well, is laying face down. Now, it can be comfortable, but you can wake up and have a lot of strain on your neck if you sleep on your belly and your neck is contorted or twisted to the side. Again, these are things that are just going to put extra pressure, and we're looking for neutral, we're looking for ideal. Okay, so we've talked about on your back, on our back, we've talked about on our side. We would want to try to avoid face down if at all possible. The other component is if we are on our back, if we are on our knees, having something between the knees is okay. That's another conversation I've had with my patients, and that is you can put something between your knees, you can put something under your knees, all right? That's gonna actually help prevent higher levels of strain on that lower back, right? So we're looking for positions that are gonna allow for rest to be taking place. So we've talked about our neck, we've talked about our knees, right? The other thing we can do is we can also elevate. If you elevate the feet, get them up in the air, that might help as well, all right? When I have these conversations with my patients, we're shooting for what's ideal for an individual, and what's ideal for me might not be perfect for the other patient. You can also try to support that lower back, right? whether that is something, that's the third thing that I wanted to mention is, if you fall asleep, sometimes people will want to sleep. Maybe you could put an ice pack under your back at night, all right? Now, that ice pack isn't going to stay cool or cold all night. We don't want it directly on the skin, something protecting it, maybe a thin towel, right? That can help protect it from getting right on the skin. But having something cool it down might be a component. So when it comes to 3 really healthy components, we want to make sure that our neck is in a neutral position. We want to make sure that we've got something potentially under or between our knees. And if you're in some pain and you're trying to get some relief at night, you can put an ice pack or something cool under that back when it comes to that pain in the back, but that would also apply to the neck. Sleep is so important. We have to be able to get that extra rest, get the daily rest necessary so we can hop into and elevate our activity and also just our sanity, our well-being, our physiological health. That's so crucial that we're getting the necessary sleep so we can be ready to go and be ready to overcome and deal with life. Life happens. It can be stressful. It can be exciting, but it's so important to get that restful sleep at night. So those are 3 components. There's other components when it comes to healthy sleep, but I wanted to make this video and just kind of share some of the conversations that I have with our patients. If you had more questions, check us out at Your North Carolina Chiro. Check us out at Thomasville Chiropractic. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Have a great night's sleep, and we'll talk to you soon.